Do. And we got a woes. Did you have some noms? Was it tasty? Yeah. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rochelle and I have a problem with getting pretty books. I also have a disability as well, and today we are going to do the very last book haul for the year. I am so excited for this. I got my box of books yesterday from Bookoutlet. They had a Black Friday sale, so of course I had to hop on that. I also had my fiance go through the list of books that I had in my cart and remove any when I was out of the room in case if I accidentally had the desire to purchase a book that he might have been getting me for either Christmas or my birthday. So with that being said, let's get ready because I am so excited to go through this stack of books. So starting off with an order that I got from Amazon. This was one that I actually pre-ordered a while back and it got shipped, I believe, right after we moved to the new house, and this one the date had kept getting postponed and changed, so I'm excited to go and open this one up and finally like put it on my bookshelves. So this one is called Till Death Do Us Bard, When Duty Calls, Love Answers, and it's by Rose Black. I can't remember who I saw talking about this book, but when I saw it, my D&D side of me was like, I need to get this book. Also just the puns, but it's just too funny. But it says, marriage isn't always sunshine and unicorns. Sometimes it's monsters and necromancy. I truthfully don't know what this book is about because I got it solely for the title of the book. So I'll just read like maybe like a sentence or two from each of the books that I'm going through this haul, just so that you can get an idea of what they're about in case if you are interested in picking them up as well. So this one says, it's been almost a year since Logan, the bear, Theaker, hung up his axe and settled down with his sunshiny bard husband, Pie. But when Pie disappears, Logan is forced back into a world he thought he'd left behind. Ooh. So it says, Till Death Do Us Bard is a charming queer fantasy, perfect for fans of legends and lattes and nettle and bone. Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited for this, and I might have to talk to my fiance about this because of some of his D&D friends. They might be interested in this book as well. All right, and then the moment you've all been waiting for, the Bookoutlet haul. Let me open the box. Oh no, this is dangerous. Right away what I'm seeing is indulge in a bookish treat this new year. Enjoy $10 off for your first 2025 book haul. It's valid on the Bookoutlet website from January 4th to February 3rd. Ooh, this might be a little birthday gift for myself. All right, so I'm so ready. Okay. So first one we have is Find Him Where You Left Him Dead by Kristen Simmons. It says, at dawn he'll be gone and you'll be here forever. Jumanji, but Japanese inspired and really disturbing. So with this one it says, 4 survivors, 1 grave mistake. 4 ex-best friends return to a deadly game in a nightmarish underworld to try and save the boy they left for dead. Sounds so cool. Just looking at a few pieces of it, so this like the right in red at the beginning, it says 4 years ago, 5 kids started a game. Not all of them survived. Now at the end of their senior year of high school, the survivors, Owen, Madeline, Emerson, and Dax, have reunited for one strange and terrible reason. They've been summoned by the ghost of Ian, the friend they left for dead. Holy crap, this sounds so cool. Then I have Wild Blood by Lauren Blackwood. Never Betray a Wild Heart. I love the cover of this one, and I feel like I don't have too many books that have yellow, so this will be really pretty to put on my bookshelf. Ooh, and look at the inside. It has a lot of creepy crawlies in it. I'm not really a bug person, but I do appreciate like the artwork on this. So it says 18-year-old Victoria is a wild blood. Since she was kidnapped at the age of 6, Victoria has been forced to use her magic to guide and protect travelers in a Jamaican jungle teeming with ghostly monsters. Her magic is the most powerful of anyone on the team, making her the perfect choice to protect a valuable new client. Oh, I'm excited. Then I have What We Harvest by Anne Freisestat. That's kind of hard to read just with the font, but this is the way the cover looks. And it says, miracles don't come free. It began by consuming the crops, hollow ends Hollow's End was famous for thick silver sludge bleeding from the earth. Next were the animals, infected livestock, and wild creatures staggered off into the woods by day, only to return at night, their eyes fogged white, leering from the trees. Then the blight came for the neighbors. Ooh, this one sounds really creepy and kind of apocalyptic, so I'm very intrigued on this one as well. And it's kind of a thin book, so this should be a very easy read. Hopefully I can say this one right, but it's set, I think it's called Lobezona, Undocumented, Unprotected, Unafraid. Romina Garber. So this one has Manuela Azul has been crammed into an existence that feels too small for her. As an undocumented immigrant who's on the run from her father's Argentine crime family, Manu is confined to a small apartment and a small life in Miami, Florida, until her protective bubble is popped. Her surrogate grandmother is attacked until her protective bubble is popped. So one of the pieces that really brought my attention to this book was this part that, like, this character, she learns that it's not her US residency that's illegal, it's her entire existence. And I think there's some fantasy pieces in this book, and it just sounded so interesting. And especially considering the stuff going on in our current climate, I really wanted to focus on getting a lot of diverse reads, especially in this book haul, just because I wanted to diversify my bookshelf even more than it currently is. Because there's never really a stopping point or never good enough point. We should always continue diversifying our bookshelves and highlighting them in different voices. But I really love the way that this cover looks, and I'm so intrigued on this. Then I have Leech by Hiron Ennis, and this one I believe is possibly dystopian or apocalyptic. It's one of the two, if not both. So it says, meet the cure for the human disease. In an isolated chateau as far north as north goes, the Baron's doctor has died. The doctor's replacement has a mystery to solve, discovering how the Institute lost track of one of its many bodies. For hundreds of years, the Interprovincial Medical Institute has grown by taking root in young minds and shaping them into doctors, replacing every human practitioner of medicine. The Institute is here to help humanity, to cure and to cut, to cradle and to protect the species from the apocalyptic horrors their ancestors unleashed. Ooh, this looks really dark as well. Then the next one I have is The Borrowers by Mary Norton, and it says, inspiration for the secret world of Arrietty. I'm not a fan that there is a sticker right on this, but the reason that I picked this book up was because it reminded me of my childhood. I don't know if any of you remember maybe reading The Littles or, of course, The Borrowers when you were growing up, but it just was something that I remembered reading and picking up from my library, and I just wanted to go and pick them up as well. As you might know, I've been kind of slowly repurchasing books from my childhood if I don't already own them, and it just brings me joy to kind of see them on my bookshelves and remember where my reading journey started. So this one says, underneath the kitchen floor is the world of the borrowers, Pod and Homley Clock and their daughter Arrietty. In their tiny home, matchboxes double as roomy dressers and postage stamps hang on the walls like paintings. Whatever the clocks need, they simply borrow from the human beings who live above them. It's a comfortable life. Comfortable, but boring if you're a kid. So very excited for this one. And of course, it's a very easy, quick read as well. And then we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is one that you've probably seen a lot on BookTube, Book Talk, a lot of those spaces, and I have been intrigued by it and decided that since I was able to find it on Bookoutlet, I might as well go and pick it up so I could read it as well. Nuggie's eating her food again. I have a lot to edit out because of Nuggie eating. Okay, she's done. So with this one it says, for humans and vampires, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king, Oria, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Karaji, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. but winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, Oria is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. I don't really know too much about this, but I believe a lot of people that have read this have enjoyed this book, so I'm very intrigued to read it and see what the rest of the series is like. Then we have The Last Blood Carver by Vanessa Lee, and I absolutely love the way the cover looks for this book. This was one that came across my search as well when I was looking through all the books available, and it says, Nahika is a blood carver, a cold-hearted, ruthless being who can alter human biology with just a touch. In the harsh industrial city of Thumas, she is seen not as a healer, as she was meant to, but a monster that kills for pleasure. And in the city's criminal underbelly, the rarest of monsters are traded for gold. When Nahika is finally caught by the infamous butchers, she's auctioned off to the highest bidder, a mysterious girl garbed in white. But the strange buyer doesn't want to use Nahika as an assassin or a trophy piece. She intends to use Nahika's blood carving to heal the last person who saw her father's killer. Holy crap. This sounds really interesting, and like I said, I really love the artwork on the cover, so I can't wait to go and read this one as well. Then we have In the Dark We Forget by Sandra S.G. Wong. And this one, let's see, it says, some things are better left forgotten. When a woman wakes up with amnesia beside a mountain highway, confused and alone, she fights to regain her identity, only to learn that her parents have vanished not long after her mother bought a winning 47 million lottery ticket. This sounds really interesting, very mysterious and thriller vibes, so we all know how much I love going around and reading more horror, dark thrillers, those types of things. So I, of course, had to add a lot of that stuff into my book haul as well. Then I have The Encanto's Daughter by Melissa de la Cruz. This one is a Filipino author, and as some of you might know, I am part Filipino as well. And I didn't really grow up with a lot of Filipino authors, at least that I knew of. So I've been trying to go and broaden my horizons as well and get more books by Filipino authors. So this one says, I knew what they were, encantos, fairies, magical creatures. MJ Robertson Rodriguez has spent her life hiding in the human world, keeping a heavy secret. She's half encanto. As the only child of King Vivencio of the Serena court, she's also next in line for the throne. And now, upon her estranged father's sudden death, MJ must claim her place as rightful heir. So I definitely do have a lot of fantasy books in my pile, and I have been wanting to get into more fantasy books as well, so I'm really excited to go and pick up and go through some of these books. Next I have Projections by S.E. Porter. Love can last a lifetime, but revenge is forever. I really love how dark and gothic this cover looks. And it says, all prices are small when someone else pays for them. Catherine Bildstein pays that ultimate price when she rejects fledgling sorcerer Gus Farrow, but death isn't enough to free her. Her ghost remains stuck to her obsessed murderer, even as he turns his attention to girls who remind him of her. As Gus uses his magic to kill again and again, Catherine knows she must find a way to stop him and release her own trapped spirit in the process. Ooh, this sounds really interesting. I feel like I should also check trigger warnings for this book to be on the safe side, but I am very interested and excited to read this book. Then I have Game On by Ceresia Glass. So we know I don't read romance unless it covers a few specifics for me. So if there's some nerdy factor, if there's some sort of representation in it, if it's in a small town, a few of those things. So with this one, obviously, we're seeing a interracial couple on the cover, and game over, the stars, obviously like video game related. So it says, when an unexpected player 2 enters her life, a gamer must decide if their relationship is worth leveling up. Okay, that's really cute. It says, Samara Reynolds has built a large following as a gamer under an anonymous screen name and uses her skills as a DEIA consultant to advocate for equal representation in video games. We love it. When she posts a video critiquing the popular game Legends Fall, she knows she'll get a reaction from her fans, but the video leads to hundreds of female gamers criticizing the game and its company, Artemis Games, the only thing its company, Artemis Games. The only thing more unexpected than starting an online movement is getting a job offer from the handsome CEO of Artemis. This sounds really interesting, and I feel like I haven't heard anyone talking about this book before, so I'm very excited to pick it up. Next, we have Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and this is another one that I've seen a lot of people talking about on BookTube and Book Talk. I decided that since it was in stock in Bookoutlet, I might as well give it a try as well. So it says, I dream sometimes about a house I've never seen. Opal is a lot of things. Orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier. But above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother, Jasper. One that gets him out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only two things: bad luck and East Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland who disappeared over 100 years ago. Ooh, this sounds interesting. And I think it's also dark and gothic, so I'm very curious. All right, we only have a few more books left. So then I have Rust in the Root by Justina Ireland. This is the same author that wrote Dread Nation, which is a book that I plan on reading in my 10 before the end. And I am intrigued in this one. So it says, it is 1937, and Laura Ann Langston lives in an America divided between those who work the mystical arts and those who do not. Ever since the Great Rust, a catastrophic event that threw America into disarray, the country has been rebuilding for a better future, and everyone knows the future is industry and technology, otherwise known as mechomancy, not the traditional mystical arts. I don't know if it's because I'm watching Arcane with my fiance right now. We just started season 2, but in Arcane, which is inspired by League of Legends, it kind of has this industrial revolution that they're currently in, and some magic is getting brought into it, but magic is also kind of being something that people are worried and fearful of with learning the arcane and bringing it into the world. And I don't know why, but that kind of gives me a little bit of vibes when I was reading through the synopsis for this, so I'm definitely curious. Then I have Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I forgot how the author's name is pronounced, so I'm gonna just bring it a little bit closer here so that you can see it. But this is one that has been on my radar for a while. I've had some good book besties go and read this book as well, and I've really been wanting to pick it up. So it says, it's like I keep stumbling into a dark room, searching for the switch to make things bright again. Said Hassan is starting her 3rd year of high school, this time at the prestigious Alfred Nobel Academy boarding school, after being homeschooled. Misfortune has been a constant companion throughout her life, but even Said, or is it Sade? I'll have to look up. Doesn't expect her new roommate, Elizabeth, to disappear after Sade's first night, or for people to think she had something to do with it. I think this one does have a few trigger warnings in it, so definitely check those before you pick up the book, but I'm really excited to finally get my hands on this and read it. I'm almost done. Thank you for your dragon. Yeah, thank you. I definitely would go and check trigger warnings for this book. I believe there is either SA or rape in this, so definitely go and check it before reading the book. But I am very excited to finally get my hands on this and yet to see what it's all about. I don't have all my books, because they're supposed to be 33. So then, the next one I have is Brown Girl in the Ring by Nalo Hopkinson, and I'm a little bit disappointed because it has this cover. The one that I saw online when I was looking at Bookoutlet looked like this, and this book definitely seems very intriguing and something that I was curious about. So it says, the rich and privileged have fled the city, barricaded it behind roadblocks, and left it to crumble. The inner city has had to rediscover old ways, farming, barter, herb lore, but now the moneyed need a harvest of bodies, and so they prey upon the helpless of the streets with nowhere to turn. A young woman must open herself to ancient truths, eternal powers, and the tragic mysteries surrounding her mother and grandmother. This is dystopian, and I'm so here for it. I haven't seen this book before. It never was on my radar, but I'm so excited to go and read this, and also still a little bit sad that I didn't get the other cover for this book, because I'm not too wild about this one. Last one in this box is Hestia Strikes a Match by Christine Grillo, and this one I was like, okay, we need to go and pick this one up as well. It says, Hestia Harris is 42, abandoned by her husband and estranged from her parents. Tired of covering war and mayhem, she has left reporting for a job at a retirement village on Baltimore's Inner Harbor. The UN peacekeepers housed nearby are a nice perk, but it's the people at the village, especially her new best friend, 84-year-old Mildred, who keep her safe, sane, and dating. Sure, America has tumbled into its second civil war. Maryland is a border state, and everyone is constantly checking their phones for the latest terrible news. But didn't somebody once say a woman likes to be crossed in love a little now and then? Or as Mildred extorts, there's a war on. You'd think people would let down their damn hair. How do we make a full, wonderfully ordinary life when the whole mad world is clattering down around us? Love, Christine Grillo's Hestia Strikes a Match is an incisive, laugh-out-loud, romp-through love of all kinds, in all its messy beauty. So obviously you can see why I picked up this book as well, and I am excited to go and read this. I haven't heard anyone talk about it either, and so as well as a lot of the books in this haul, I'm very excited to pick them up. So one thing I noticed is that I don't exactly have all the books that I ordered from Bookoutlet. I actually ordered 33 and there's not 33 here. So depending on how things go, I'm gonna pick this up when I get the rest of the box. I'm gonna check my order because I thought everything was delivered, and there might be either me in the same outfit if that box gets delivered today, or in a different outfit. We shall see. Okay, so the other box finally got here, and luckily it's the same day, but the light is kind of going down, so we'll see how well this goes. I also have curry sleeve. We got some food and I got it all over my sleeve, but just to keep things kind of similar, I'm gonna still wear the same outfit and everything. So let me open the box and let's get started. Change the direction so we keep some of the light that's still here. So we got another coupon. I'm not quite sure if they stack up, but if they do, that will be awesome. So we shall see. Starting off from the box, Not Like Other Girls by Meredith Endamo. And this one says, when Jo Lynn Kirby's former best friend, pretty nice Maddie Price, comes to her claiming to be in trouble, Jo assumes it's some kind of joke. After all, Jo has been an outcast ever since her nude photos were leaked, and since everyone decides she deserved it, there's no way Maddie would actually come to her for help. So with this one, it definitely had a lot of interesting things when I pulled it up. There are definitely some trigger warnings with it, but I was really intrigued by this book. I feel like I haven't heard too many people read it, and I was very curious and had to go and pick it up. Then I have Holly Horror by Michelle Jabez Corpora. Probably not saying that right. Mom rolled the car to a stop next to the mailbox, and Evie stuck her head out of the window to study it. Along the side, written in cracked black paint, were the letters HH. There was something else too, something scribbled in faded red ink above the two letters. It looked like someone had tried to wash it off with little success. Evie squinted. What did it say? After a moment, the words came clear. Horror House. This might be a good book to go and add to my reading haunted houses after we moved into a new house series that I want to do. So we might have to think about this one, but I really do love the cover. It looks so cool and creepy. Then I have Girl, Serpent, and Thorn. Sometimes the Princess is the Monster. I've seen this one around before, but I don't know if any of the channels that I watched have read it. But it says, there was and there was not. As all stories begin, a princess cursed to be poisonous to the touch. But for Soraya, who has lived her life hidden away apart from her family, safe only in her gardens, it's not just her story. As the day of her twin brother's wedding approaches, Soraya must decide if she's willing to step outside the shadows for the first time. Below in the dungeon is a demon who holds the knowledge she craves. The answer to her freedom. Above is a young man who isn't afraid of her, whose eyes linger not with fear, but with an understanding of who she is beneath the poison. Ooh, I'm definitely intrigued. I kind of have a thing for like poison ivy, so when there's characters that have poison or they're dangerous to the touch or things like that, I definitely like automatically like think I am in. So I'm very interested to pick this one up. I'm also noticing that in this box is a lot more hardback books, so I'm wondering if that's why they had them all together in this box. Then I have What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. And I've never read one of the books written by this author, so I'm really excited. I also did not know that it was going to be such a thin read. It says, I'm a friend of the ushers, I say. The servant nodded gravely at this information. Would you like to come inside? Yes, I said, aware that I was lying. I did not want to go into that tired house dripping with fungus and architectural eyes, but Madeline has summoned me, and here I was. A gripping and atmospheric reimagining of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. Ooh, I watched the Netflix show for the Fall of the House of Usher, and it was really good. And so I'm definitely intrigued to see how this one goes. The cover is also very creepy and grotesque. Then I have The Island by Adrienne McKinty. This one is a horror, and I've heard really good things on this one. So it says propulsive, terrifying new thriller from the author of the instant New York Times bestseller, The Chain. After moving from a small country town to Seattle, Heather Baxter marries Tom, a widowed doctor with a young son and teenage daughter. A working vacation overseas seems like the perfect way to bring the new family together, but once they're deep in the Australian outback, the jet-lagged and exhausted kids are so over their new mom. When they discover remote Dutch island off-limits to outside visitors, the family talk their way onto the ferry, taking a chance on an adventure far from the reach of iPhones and Instagram. Oh gosh, you can already tell how this one is definitely gonna go, but I'm very excited to read it. I love thrillers, and it says soon to be a Hulu original series. I have not heard anything about that. So we'll have to check that out after we read this. Then I have Sinner's Isle by Angela Montoya. So this one is a romance, but it is by a BIPOC author, so I wanted to go and pick it up, and some parts of it or some reviews that I saw really made me want to go and read it. So I'm definitely curious. It says, Rosalinda is trapped on Sinner's Isle, an island filled with majestics like her, beautiful witches loathed by society for their dangerous magic, yet revered by powerful men who want to use them. Oof. Now 18, Rosa will be the prize commodity of this year's offering, a fiesta for the wealthy to engage in drink, damsels, and debauchery. This is why she must flee before someone forces the vicious phantoms within her to destroy everything she touches. Ooh. And it seems like there's pirates in this one and everything. I'm very curious, and I do have to say the cover is really pretty. I do love the art on it. Then we have Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. I've only read one book by Octavia E. Butler so far this year, and so far in general, but I'm really excited. Just some of the stuff that she writes, it hits so hard and is so surprising considering when she wrote all of her books. But this one says, when Lilith Yapo wakes from a deep sleep, she finds herself aboard a vast spaceship. Haunted by confused memories of a nuclear war that ravaged the world, she discovers that she is being held by the Onkali, a seemingly benevolent alien race that intervened in the human race's extinction, rescuing the survivors from their ruined planet and placing them in a coma-like sleep for centuries. Now the restored Earth is ready for inhabitants, and the Onkali want Lilith to help awaken the rest of their survivors and rebuild humankind. But the Onkali have needs of their own, and salvation comes at a price. Soon Lilith must choose how much of humanity she is willing to sacrifice for the future of her race. This will definitely be an interesting one and have a lot of like those mic dropping moments. I just have a feeling. Then I got Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I've never read this, but I know that there is a series on Netflix that unfortunately isn't renewed for any other seasons. But I've heard good things, and I've been really intrigued, and finally had the chance to go and pick up one of the books through Bookoutlet. But it says, Soldier, Summoner, Saint. Orphaned and expendable, Alina Starkov is a soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadowfold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters. But when her regiment is attacked, Alina unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. Ooh, that sounds really cool. I'm very excited to read this, and it's also thinner than I thought it would be, so we'll see how this goes. Then I have Death by Bubble Tea by Jennifer J. Chow. I love bubble tea, and I saw that this cute little series has a bubble tea book, and then I think the second one involves hot pot. And because those are a few of my favorite things, I was like, yeah, we definitely need to read these. But it says, two cousins who start a food stall at their local night market get a serving of murder in this first novel of a delicious new cozy mystery series by Jennifer J. Chow. When Yao Li discovers her cousin Celine is visiting from Hong Kong, she is obliged to play tour guide to a relative she hasn't seen in 20 years. Not only that, but her father thinks it's a wonderful idea for them to bond by running a food stall together at the Eastwood Village Night Market. Ooh. This sounds really interesting, and I love the art on the cover, and just knowing that there's a lot of food involved in this. I'm excited, but I might also get hungry while reading this book. Then I have Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling, and with this one, it says, in a near future northern settlement, the fates of a young woman, a professor, and a mysterious collective of climate researchers collide in this mesmerizing and transportive debut novel. In remote northern Canada, a team led by a visionary American architect is breaking ground on a building project called Camp Zero, intended to be the beginning of a new way of life. A clever and determined young woman, codenamed Rose, is offered a chance to join the Blooms, a group hired to entertain the men in camp. But her real mission is to secretly monitor the mercurial architect in charge. In return, she'll receive a home for her climate-displaced Korean immigrant mother and herself. And then the next one is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I have also never read a book by this author and was really excited when I was able to snag this one up through Bookoutlet. I feel like a lot of the times, especially with popular books, sometimes they get snagged really quickly. So I was happy I got to get my hands on this one as well. It says, every year, thousands in the kingdom of Tallinn will flock to its capital twin cities, San Air, where the palace hosts a set of games. For those confident enough in their ability to jump between bodies, there is a fight to the death across San Air for a chance to win unimaginable riches. Ooh, I'm intrigued. I've also kind of been in the mood to go back to reading The Hunger Games. It's been years since I read them, and this is kind of giving me those vibes that I've been craving with going back to that series. So I'm excited to check this one out. Then I have The Bones of Ruin by Sarah Rowley, and this one is kind of a thicker one, but I really fell in love with the art style on the cover. I thought it was stunning. And it says, the world has ended before and it'll end again. As an African tightrope dancer in Victorian London, Iris is used to being strange. She is certainly a strange sight for leering British audiences, always eager for the spectacle of colonial curiosity. But Iris has a secret that even strange doesn't capture. She cannot die. Ooh. And I also was lucky enough to get the second book in the series, so I won't read the back of it just so there's no spoilers for any of us that want to read it. But this one is The Song of Wrath, and I love the cover. How stunning is that? So I'm very excited for this. I have the first two books. I don't know if it's a duology, but if it is, then I have the books that I need for it. But very excited to also read these ones as well. And like I said, beautiful. And then the last one is Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. And this one says, Surasi Surkova survives on lies. As a soldier in training at the most prestigious barracks in the kingdom, Surasi lies about being a siren to avoid execution. At night, working as an assassin for a dangerous group of mercenaries, she lies about her true identity, and to her family, Surasi tells the biggest lie of all, that she can control her siren powers and doesn't struggle constantly against an impulse to kill. Ooh. This sounds really good as well. But yeah, this is my book haul. As you can see, I definitely picked up a vast variety of books, both thriller and fantasy, and also from a lot of BIPOC authors. I really wanted to go and diversify my bookshelf, and was just so lucky to see a vast variety of books that were available on Bookoutlet. So I'm very excited to go and read all of these and also figure out where I'd like to go and organize them in my bookshelf. But if you got anything for the Black Friday sale that was going on, I'd love to hear about some of the books that you picked up, or if you ended up picking up some similar books that I picked up in my haul. But I'm very excited about all of it. Also, let's see how many books that we picked up. I got 31 books in this book haul. So this is going to be the last book haul for the year of 2024. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope that you found a few new books that you'd like to go and check out and read as well. But yeah, I'm going to put these all away, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day and Bookmas, and I'll talk to you all soon. And always remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Love you all. Bye, friends.